All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the cosmos today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for helping me to co-create community here. Thank you for all those likes, shares, comments, subscribes, etc. They help us to grow and to reach more people. I am going to be going live today with this floral tarot deck. My phone's kind of on low battery right now, so we'll see how far we get. But I think that I'm just being really called to dig into this springtime energy for everybody today. Before we get into it a little bit, I'm definitely going to have everybody tuning in today take a moment to check in with yourself, and I'm going to do it too. Take a hand on your belly and a hand on your heart. Then take a deep breath in, filling up your abdomen first and then your chest. And you can hold at the top if you'd like, if you feel comfortable. Grounding down into this space, feel free to grab your coffee or your tea, and we'll see if we're here long enough for you to drink it. It has been an interesting time recently. I have received some body work a couple of days ago where I just afterwards felt in the right way. Like I felt safe enough to finally tap into this part of my heart space that I've been working on connecting to for a long time, and everything that I tried to do to make that happen, I was just really struggling to surrender to that, to open that up. And it wasn't for lack of trying, but sometimes we need an experience, an external experience, an interaction with another electromagnetic field to kind of spur us on to things and growth. And that's not always, the case. But I feel like for whoever is tapping in, tuning in today at this time, it may very well be something to think about. But when I was feeling all of this grief that was finally coming up in this physical way in my body, I was so grateful for it. But I was also like, man, I was just getting some momentum going and some things that were important to me. And now I've got to sit here and process these feelings that I've been trying to tap into and process for a while anyways. But it's not on my timeline and my terms, and it's inconvenient, and there's other stuff I want to be getting done, but you kind of have to make time for that when it comes through, because it's very important, because when it builds up, that's not good for anybody, right? I think before I even get into the floral, I'm going to pull some random index cards here, because I've been having fun with that lately, and I feel like it. But because of that experience, I am definitely, I feel like I'm not fully here, I'm not fully on, I can't be there for my clients at 120%, I can't be there for y'all at 120%, and that feels wrong. Not that it is wrong, but facts are not feelings, but they're important to acknowledge, Oh my goodness, I'll get a little organized here. So much. So you might be going through a lot, processing a lot, holding a lot of contradictory energies right now. Does that say carriage? getting some chariot vibes here. Lots of moving forward, lots of things moving, lots of things happening. But we need to find the temperance in that, right? And so we recently exceeded the 50 subscriber goal that I set a little over a year ago, and that's why we're able to do lives now, which is super cool. And the next goal that I wanted to set for this channel, subscriber-wise, was going to be 100 subscribers, and so and get into like the 3 digits. And I think that the way that I've been feeling called to do that is to go live every day for 100 days and see where that takes us, and just go on that journey together. And that sounds like a lot if you're like doing a lot practically in the world, or you're going through a lot emotionally processing to make some kind of commitment like that. But I see it kind of like working out, you know? Like if you get sick and you miss a day, you kind of forgive that, take care of yourself, maybe do a little bit more next time. If you are like on your period and you're having like a really low energy moment and you're used to doing the same kind of routine every day, then, you know, walk way slower, go way less distance, you know, like be more mindful with it, meet yourself where you're at, but you can always do something. You can always do something. All right, I am going to light some incense here because I feel a very heavy energy, a very light energy as well. Again, there's like a lot going on that's very contradictory, and that may be kind of confusing to your nervous system. Like you may be used to extremes, but kind of the back and forth. And when you go from a place of being in survival mode and used to extremes and back and forth to kind of finding that balance, you still have a lot of energies moving through, a lot to process positively and negatively, and that's okay. Because like when you're feeling that heavy, dense stuff, you're used to that just kind of overwhelming and overtaking you, so you probably have some kind of nervous system response to that in like a fear or like a waiting for the other shoe to drop kind of thing, right? Oh, where am I going to put this? I did not think this far ahead, but that's okay. Sometimes you just move before you're ready, before you know what you're doing. And sometimes that's how we learn and progress. Because if we wait until we're 100% certain on something, we're never going to learn. And that's what we like to do here at this channel, is like work on your intuition and develop that, which requires taking chances and making moves when you don't feel 100%, which allows you to gain those data points and like feel it in your body and improve your sense moving forward. I got Brick Road, Negro, Gnomes, Pawn, Queen, King, Bishop. Oh my gosh. I've shuffled this deck so much, I don't know why chess is coming through so hard, but there may be some confirmations in there for some of y'all. I also got Monica, Indigo, Curtain, kind of getting like the Wizard of Oz right there. That's interesting. Renew. Yeah, pulling back the curtain. We see that there. We see the king and the queen and the pawns. And we're not playing that. We're not playing victim. We're not playing victimizer. Okay, so I'm going to get a past, present, and future for this specific collective today. Freya, Folly, Michael, Mary, please be here with me now. Please allow me to channel for the collective a message aligned with their greatest and highest good, balanced with that of the collective at large. Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for your protection. Okay. Past, present, future. to shine at today here. The incense that I lit was vanilla and rose. I also have some pink roses out on the table. And the very first card that came out here is Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups was in the future position of the last reading I did with this deck. And now it is in the past position, which is giving me very much like forward movement. There's also bunny rabbits here. That could be a nod to like romance, sexuality, relationships. But I'm also kind of getting like speed. Things are moving. And that aligns very much with, I believe yesterday on the 25th, Taurus went into Gemini from Taurus after 7 years of challenges, instability, unpredictability in your physical life, in your living situation, in your value system, in your kind of like Taurian or Venusian relational stuff, your pleasure, your receptivity, your ability to receive. And so, I mean, those challenges are things that help us to clarify what we need, what we want, who we are. That's good. Uranus shakes us up and we go, that's an injustice. But then we find out, no, actually, that was the justice. It's just real hard to see it from that perspective. Yeah, in the present position, come on, get the Fool. So in the past, I mean, here I'm getting kind of like lots of options, almost the Seven of Cups in the reverse in the past, kind of getting caught up in illusion and stuff, but then flipping it around and seeing that you just have a lot of options, actually, and you need to recognize that and look for them and open your mind to them, and I feel that you've done that, and that now you're stepping into this Fool energy, like what I was doing before wasn't working, and I'm going to try something else, I'm going to try something different, and I'm going to be patient with myself and take it one day at a time. But we are moving into this Gemini energy, this like communication, this connection, this, it's not frenetic, it's just, it feels that way to me. I've always struggled with Gemini energy. This is going to be an interesting opportunity to learn about that. So we had pink tulips in the past, then the Fool, I'm not 100% sure which flower this is, so I'm going to have to look it up in the guidebook, but it is white. And then in the future position, we have the World, and this is a white rose, I'm almost positive. So we have this like elevation, this like higher perspective, this like divinity, this purity, right? That's what white roses are. It's like rising into your purity, into your Vesta essence, into your sovereignty, into your godhood, as CCC would say. And the berries here, I'm also getting a lot of, you are able to move into this whole new world because of the grounding, the stability, the heart healing, and also like the expression, the communication that you have learned to express and communicate. We have a lot of similar colors here with the present and the future position. It's all red, green, blue, white. Yeah. There's a lot of integration going on here. There's a lot of heart healing going on here. We got Nine of Swords on the bottom of the deck, and I'm kind of getting this whole new world, the Fool, like turning around this overthinking and this anxiety, and not in a way where it's like rejecting it. It's here. It's here. We don't want to say like the Nine of Swords, we want to like take this card out of the deck, burn it, get rid of it. Like, we don't like that energy. It's important. And when it comes up, we acknowledge it and we integrate it and we say, it's here, but I'm going to approach it differently. I'm going to look at it differently. And your commitment to looking at things differently like that and to believing in the fact that you have options has spurred you into this space, into this Fool space. I am going to pull from the floral tarot guidebook for that card because I am at a loss. But for some reason, before I do that, I'm gonna grab these cards first because again, as I said, I'm running low on battery right now, so we could get cut off at any moment. And so I'm very much leaning heavily into my intuition and like feeling what the priorities are. The priorities may be shifting in your life in every moment, so it's really important to not just like do visualization and clarification and figuring out what you want and who you are and then like setting a goal and going after it and sticking to it. There are elements of that that are important, but it's also very important to like keep up with that on a daily basis, on a regular basis, on a moment-to-moment basis, as much as you can, like being present and being open to changes, being open to opportunities, options, being open to new perspectives, being open to old perspectives, being open to integrating different perspectives. I'm gonna get a past, a present, and a future with these ones too. I haven't used these, well, I've never used these cards honestly, but I haven't seen them since I was a child. They came from Mexico, I think, maybe when I lived there, and they've been kind of following my family around for years, but nobody's ever used them or done anything with them. They just sit there. We got the bingo set up, like the bingo cards for it, and I mean, we might have played the game once or twice, but definitely I've never used them like this before. In the past position, I got La Sandia, the watermelon. I'm getting that song. Is it called Watermelon? I'm gonna have to look it up now. By Abel Heart. There may be something in there for some of y'all. There's also some yellow in the background, so it's like a heart healing through solar plexus healing. You know, this belief that like I'm gonna have faith, I'm gonna have patience, I'm gonna believe in the possibilities, and that is where my strength comes from, and that's proving to be correct, right? Because you had this sweet realization of your worth and your value and your opportunities recently, in the recent past, I would say. Within the last 7 days, within the last 7 weeks, and in this present moment, we have La Campana, yeah, El Sol in the future position. Okay, well, I don't actually know what La Campana translates to technically speaking, but this is the card. It's a bell. Something about Hunchback of Notre Dame may be significant to some of y'all. I forget is that the name of the movie? Let me know down below if you feel like it. I will get a moderator one day, I swear. Just hold tight with me through these next 100 days. We'll see what happens. But yeah, the Fool, the ringing of the bell. It's like you had a realization in the recent past, and that was a helpful heart-healing thing, but it was very much in this solar plexus and just like this realization and this kind of abstract, it was like an internal transformation. Now the bell is rung. Now that internal transformation is being externalized. It's being experienced in the outside world. This may be some kind of manifestation. I mean, it's definitely some kind of manifestation. It may be some kind of like positive material manifestation. It may be some challenges and some obstacles, ops. I see there's like a backpack here on the Fool card with this little dog down here. There may have been some kind of like moving or being displaced in a literal or metaphoric sense for a lot of y'all. And then in the future, we got El Sol. This card is interesting. It is a sun card, but it's like red and blue. And I rarely see the sun portrayed as like a feminine type of face, which is very interesting because I think that the sun is like a mother energy, but it's just not usually portrayed that way, is all. So I see this kind of like feminine, masculine harmonization moving forward. Like you're taking something from the inside right now and you're creating situations, you're interacting with situations that are helping you to evolve and like integrate deeper that knowledge and wisdom. But then moving forward into the near future, you're gonna be doing more of this temperance energy, more of this back and forth, having the ability to connect with the world while maintaining a connection with your own inner light, your own sun internally, and not being so easily swayed or pulled off your path of, you know, your mission and your vision and your goals and your path by worldly distractions, but also not being so easily like falling into the opposite extreme of, you know, being avoidant and dismissive of the world and falling into kind of like a selfish, martyr, bitter energy, which is fine if, you know, we go through those stages. It's just up to us what that looks like, how long it takes, what it takes, right? I think that that's all I'm going to pull here. So let's get that Fool card from the guidebook. This deck, if I haven't shown you or if you haven't seen the previous reading, this is like one of the coolest boxes I have ever received. Can I open it? There we go. It opens like a book. I mean, the deck's only that big, but it's gonna fit on my shelf all nice and sturdy and happy forever. Just gorgeous. Okay, so the Fool should be fairly easy to find because it's the very first major arcana card. Let's see if I am correct in that assumption. Sometimes assumptions help us and are helpful for like efficiency. Sometimes our desire and our attachment to efficiency can have quite the opposite effect. So careful with that. The Fool is the daisy. I was going to say the ox-eye daisy originally was my first guess, which I think may be related, but ox-eye daisies are edible, and I was originally introduced to them in the Northwest, so I don't know if they actually grow down here if you're from Texas locally, but that's interesting. There's like some kind of wild nourishment going on there, some kind of wild crafting, some kind of, what's that word? Like when you go out and you gather things, supplies, herbs and stuff. I'm totally blanking. Okay, let's see. The Fool, beginnings, innocence, spontaneity, a free spirit, purity. That's interesting. I said about the white rose earlier, purity, and I connected the future and the present. It's like right now you're planting a seed, you're ringing a bell for something that's going to play out over the next 7 years, over this next Uranus cycle of Uranus in Gemini. This 7-year cycle of the past in Taurus taught you a lot about relationships, about options, about your perspective on these sorts of things, about all kinds of Taurian elements. But yeah, you are now moving into a new cycle, and that's going to be defined by this like expressing from the heart a pure and grounded energy that you feel more and more integrated with and connected to. This guidebook says, the young daisy eagerly breaks through the earth, carefree and excited, with all possibilities opening out before it. Its gleaming white petals are pure and unblemished. With knapsack at the ready, it holds within it boundless potential for adventure, growth, and discovery. This is the Fool, which marks the beginning of the major arcana journey. The Fool is eager to set out into the world and represents the beginning of an exciting new chapter. This youth and exuberance can, however, be read as naivete. The daisy gazes up to the sun at the risk of missing an obstacle in its path, but it must trust its instincts and choose a direction despite the possibility of failure, right? You've chosen to utilize these rose-colored glasses, but not in a way where you see that as reality. I'm getting this image of like somebody taking actual like rose-colored color therapy glasses and putting them on. Maybe you've done this before with some color therapy glasses. You put them on, you walk around somewhere that you've been before, and you know what all the colors are. You know that what you're seeing isn't quite in alignment with the most stark truth, the most real reality, but it has an effect on you. There's a reason people wear color therapy glasses. It's like transformational, it's therapeutic. It's not supposed to be the only way you see things, the way you see things all the time. It's a tool. And so it's like you're accepting the value of this rose-colored glasses tool, and you are fully aware of like what you're doing in the moment when you're doing it. So you have this grounded perspective, but you're also like energetically tied to the frequency that you want to be creating and generating, without being delusionally attached to the idea that just because you have it, just because you are that energy, doesn't necessarily mean it is right here, right now. And that can be a hard nuance to deal with, to balance, to figure out for some people sometimes. That's okay. I wanted to let y'all know that because we are done with the first book of Anastasia, I think that we're going to do a coffee chat and like read the editors afterwards and stuff like that at some point. But for all intents and purposes, we finished that up, we wrapped that up. I'm very much looking forward to getting into book 2, The Ringing Cedars of Russia. It's a little denser, a little slower, a little darker, and so, you know, it's going to be for a different audience in some ways. And it made me think, like, I'm going to get into it, but there's so many other things that I want to share on this channel. And I was getting a big download recently about these 2 books, and I'm not sure which one to start with. So if you have an opinion, please let me know. And maybe I'll like post it in the community page or something, put a poll up or whatever. I don't know if I can show this whole thing. Let's see. So this one is Schmeck's Time and Power by Leonard Schlein. And I believe he's the same author that wrote The Alphabet and the Goddess. That's probably a more well-known book by him that you might be familiar with. And then The Botany of Desire by Michael Pollan. He wrote The Omnivore's Dilemma, would probably be the most well-known work by him. And so I really wanted to start with The Botany of Desire, and it's smaller and easier to get through. But I feel like there's a lot of like global, larger collective themes going on right now that might be fun to, you know, kind of explore the history of humanity and how sexuality has shaped civilization and made it very clear that human beings don't operate like other animals. We have a different kind of brain, and the chicken or the egg, like, did we start with ritual and song and like procreative acts and like all of the weird stuff that has allowed us to create magic in the world and like do really crazy impressive things for better and worse. There's power in that. There's a kind of power that human beings have that is unique to them. And I used to kind of get down on human beings because of that and look at it in a negative light. But it's not. It's light and it's dark. We're just intense. We're just an intense species. I'd like to see us continue on this planet and see how that shakes out. Like, it reminds me of when I was a little kid, my dad used to be like, guys, I can't wait till you're all, like, you grow up and go out in the world and do whatever you're gonna do, and I can't wait to see what that looks like and, like, who you're gonna be. That's how I feel about humanity right now. And the botany of desire is 4 plants that he does a deep dive into, kind of looking at the hidden and not so hidden desires that drive human decision making, where we put our energy, where we put our value. This is very Taurian as well, right? And the 4 plants that he talks about are the apple, the tulip, which is funny, that's been coming in a lot here. Here, this is an old book, it says marijuana, cannabis for y'all in those states. I wonder if it's gonna get me shadow banned or something, flagged. Sorry, YouTubes. And the potato, that's right. So I wanted to look in the index or in the contents because each plant has a specific desire associated with it that he digs into. And for the apple, it is our desire for sweetness. For the tulip, it is our desire for beauty. For cannabis, it is our desire for intoxication, or like altered states of consciousness. And the potato is our desire for control. And there's so many things I want to say about all of this, but my phone is dying. I love y'all so much. I will be back soon. Thank you for being here with me today. Love, light, peace, and personal responsibility. Boop. Okay, I actually have to turn it off.